Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today we have predictions for 5 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers. The Oklahoma City Thunder are on a heater right now, no question about it. They're cruising into Indiana with wins in 8 of their last 9 games, and their latest dub over the Wizards was nothing short of dominant, 123-105. Sitting at 23-6, they've been running the West and look every bit the part of a team that's figured it all out. Their defense? Best in the league. Their offense? Clicking. Their vibes? Immaculate. This squad is showing why they're a top contender, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been the centerpiece of it all. The guy is putting up MVP-level numbers, dropping 30.6 a night with 6 dimes to boot. Add in the savvy offseason moves, like bringing in Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, and you've got a team that just knows how to win. Caruso's been so good that they locked him up long-term, and honestly, who wouldn't? But let's not act like it's all roses for OKC. They've got a glaring issue on the glass, especially with Chet Holmgren sidelined. That's the one area where they could get exposed, and Indiana's the kind of team that can make them pay. Still, it's tough to fade a team that's locked in on both ends like this. They're covering the spread more often than not, and even though they stumbled against the Bucks in the NBA Cup, this squad has been absolute money for weeks. Indiana, though, has been a wild card lately. They started the season looking like they were headed straight for the lottery, but something clicked, and now they're a team nobody wants to see. They've won 6 of their last 7, and the energy around them is completely different. Tyrese Haliburton has woken up, and the difference is night and day. Against Golden State, he was dropping dimes all over the place. 16 points, 12 assists, 6 boards. And Miles Turner? Dude has been a beast in the paint. Throw in Pascal Siakam, who's been their most consistent guy, and you've got a core that's finally living up to the hype. Even the bench has been stepping up, which has been huge for them during this turnaround. The Pacers are scary when they're clicking offensively. They've been putting up points in bunches and look like a legit threat, but their defense is still a major concern. They're sitting near the bottom of the league in defensive rating, and if they don't tighten up, OKC could run them out of their own gym. That said, Indiana's history against the Thunder is worth a look. They've had OKC's number in recent matchups, winning 3 of the last 4 and covering the spread along the way. The Thunder might be a juggernaut, but the Pacers have shown they can go toe-to-toe with them. This one feels like a coin flip to me. Both teams are riding hot streaks, both are covering spreads, and both are playing with confidence. If anything, I'd lean toward this being a high-scoring shootout. The Pacers' offense has been too good lately for OKC to completely shut them down, and Indiana's defense just isn't built to stop Shai and company. I'm banking on the total points flying past 226, and the Pacers covering a 6-point spread. It's hard to bet against either of these squads right now, but I'm rolling with the home team to keep it close and make this one a nail-biter.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Miami Heat and Orlando Magic. This matchup between the Orlando Magic and Miami Heat has all the makings of a classic Florida clash. The Heat, fresh off a 110-95 beatdown of the Brooklyn Nets, are looking to build some momentum after what has been a roller coaster of a season. Bam Adebayo came up big in that one, dropping 23 points, while Nikola Jovic chipped in with 18 to help secure the W. But let's not kid ourselves, Miami's season has been all over the place. They're sitting at 14-13, a record that screams middle of the pack, and their inconsistency has been maddening. One game, they're looking like a well-oiled machine. The next, they're a defensive mess. Jimmy Butler's rumored dissatisfaction with the franchise isn't helping things. That off-court drama has cast a shadow over the team, and it's hard not to wonder if it's affecting their on-court chemistry. Without Butler in the lineup, the Heat have leaned heavily on Adebayo and Tyler Herro to carry the load. Herro's return has been a bright spot, but the Heat still feel like a team searching for their rhythm. Their recent stretch has been a microcosm of their season, some flashes of brilliance mixed with head-scratching lapses, like the fourth-quarter meltdown they had against this very same Orlando squad. Speaking of the Magic, they've been one of the more intriguing stories in the league. At 19-12, they've managed to exceed expectations, even while dealing with a laundry list of injuries. They just pulled off a gritty upset over the Boston Celtics, and it wasn't by accident. Cole Anthony played out of his mind in that game, dropping 35 points while stuffing the stat sheet with 9 assists and 8 boards. Tristan da Silva and Trevelyan Queen also stepped up big time, proving that this Magic team thrives on a next man up mentality. Their defense has been stellar all season, ranking 3rd in the league, and it's been their calling card during this run. Still, the Magic are walking a tightrope with all these injuries. Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero, their 2 young stars, remain sidelined, and Emma Wagner is done for the season. That's a lot of firepower missing, and while they've shown they can grind out wins without their key players, it's not a sustainable formula. Against the Celtics, they leaned on their defense and a monster third quarter to claw back from a double-digit deficit. But doing that twice in a row, especially against a Heat squad that's surely hungry for revenge after their collapse in the last meeting, feels like a tall order. That last game between these two was wild. Miami had a 22-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, only to completely implode as Orlando ripped off a ridiculous 37-8 run to steal the game. Even without Wagner, Banchero, and others, the Magic found a way, thanks in large part to Anthony's heroics and some unexpected contributions from the likes of Goga Batadze and KCP. It was a classic example of how scrappy and resilient this team has been, but can they really pull off another stunner with so many key guys out? Miami still has the edge in talent, especially with Adebayo playing at an all-star level and Herro providing a solid secondary scoring option. Orlando's defense will make it tough, but without their primary offensive weapons, it's hard to see where the points will come from. Jalen Suggs is a nice player, but asking him to carry the load against a team like Miami is a big ask. The Magic are also missing veteran leadership in moments like these, something the Heat, despite their flaws, still have in spades. In the end, I think Miami's experience and Adebayo's dominance will be the difference. Orlando will put up a fight, they always do, but the Heat have too much firepower for this injury-depleted Magic squad to handle. After that embarrassing collapse last time, you know Miami will come out with a chip on their shoulder. I'm rolling with the Heat to not just win, but cover the 2-point spread. This one might not be pretty, but I expect Miami to grind it out and get back on track. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The third prediction for today is for a game between the Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks and Chicago Bulls are about to clash in what should be an up-tempo, high-energy battle. Both squads are grinding it out in the murky middle of the Eastern Conference standings, still searching for that spark to define their season. This feels like one of those matchups where whoever dictates the pace wins the night, so let's break it down. Chicago rolls into this one licking their wounds after a demoralizing 112-91 beatdown at the hands of a short-handed Milwaukee Bucks squad. No Giannis, no Dame, and yet the Bulls still couldn't hang. They got buried early, trailing 33-17 after one quarter, and never found a way back into the game. Nikola Vucevic and Zach LaVine did their part, dropping 17 and 14 points, but let's be real, it wasn't close to enough. The defensive struggles that have haunted this team all season were on full display. That said, Chicago has been surprisingly solid on the road, sporting a respectable 9-6 record. They've also done well against the spread in away games. Offensively, they've got weapons. Vucevic has been a consistent anchor, and Levine, while streaky, can go nuclear when he's on. But here's the catch, their defense just doesn't hold up against teams with serious firepower. Against a squad like Atlanta, that could spell trouble. On the flip side, the Hawks are coming off a confidence-boosting 117-104 win over the Timberwolves. Trae Young was cooking, dropping 29 points, while Garrison Matthews surprised everyone with a big 25-point outing. Atlanta came out blazing, torching Minnesota with a 35-19 opening quarter, but in typical Hawks fashion, they couldn't sustain it. The Timberwolves made a push in the second quarter before Atlanta tightened things up late to seal the win. That inconsistency has been Atlanta's Achilles heel all year. Trae Young has taken a lot of flack for it, and while some criticism is warranted, his ability to take over games is undeniable. The guy's a wizard with the rock, but questions linger about whether his style can consistently translate into wins. Injuries haven't helped their cause either. Bogdan Bogdanovic has missed time, and Trae's been playing through a nagging heel issue, even logging 31 minutes against Minnesota. For Atlanta, the game plan is simple: push the tempo and feast on Chicago's defensive lapses. The Hawks thrive in transition, and if Trae can control the flow, they'll be tough to stop. Meanwhile, Chicago needs to slow the game down and force Atlanta into half-court sets. Vucevic and Levine will need to carry the load offensively, but they'll need a lift from their role players to have a shot. This game has all the makings of a shootout. Both teams can pile on the points, but defense? Not exactly their strong suit. I've got to give the edge to Atlanta here. They've got more depth, and if Trae replicates his recent performance, the Hawks should come out on top. I wouldn't be shocked if this one needed overtime, but I'm banking on Atlanta to not only get the win, but also cover the 5-point spread. Expect fireworks in this one, folks. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Toronto Raptors and Memphis Grizzlies. The Raptors roll into Memphis desperate to snap an ugly 8-game losing streak, and let's be real, the vibes in Toronto right now are anything but championship caliber. With just 7 wins to their name, they're parked near the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings. Only the Wizards are keeping them company in the league's basement. It's shaping up to be another season where Raptors fans are more invested in draft prospects than playoff scenarios. But hey, it's not all bad news north of the border. Scotty Barnes is putting on a show and proving he's the franchise cornerstone for the future. The kid's stuffing the stat sheet with 19.4 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 7.1 assists per game. RJ Barrett, back in Canada, has embraced his role as the go-to scorer, dropping a confident 23.5 points a night. Grady Dick has stepped up big time, showing major development, while Jacob Poeltl continues to anchor the paint with his steady double-doubles. Even Emmanuel Quickley is playing some of his best basketball, adding value off the bench. Shout out to Coach Darko Rajakovic for keeping the squad grinding, even if the wins aren't rolling in. That said, their 1-13 road record is as rough as it gets. Still, for bettors, the Raptors have been a surprising bright spot, boasting a 19-10-1 record against the spread, making them one of the sneaky best bets in the league. On the other side, Memphis is cooking. Despite a stumble at home against the Clippers, the Grizzlies are sitting pretty at 20-10 and third in the Western Conference. Ja Morant's return has been a game-changer, with the electric guard averaging 21.3 points and nearly 8 assists a game. When he's on the court, the Grizz look like one of the league's elite. Jaren Jackson Jr. is quietly having a monster season too, putting up over 21 points per game while locking down the defensive end. Memphis is clicking on both ends of the floor, ranking top 5 in offensive and defensive efficiency. Coach Taylor Jenkins has fine-tuned the system with the help of Timomas Isalo's Euro-style wrinkles, giving the Grizzlies even more layers to their game. Rookie sharpshooter Zach Edey has been lights out, drilling an absurd 53.3% from deep, and Desmond Bane keeps coming through in the clutch with big buckets when it matters most. Now, let's dive into the numbers. Memphis is a beast at home, going 12-5 against the spread on their turf. But here's the twist. Toronto has been sneaky good as road underdogs, covering the spread in 6 of their last 11 games in that spot. Even crazier, the Raptors have covered the spread in their last 6 visits to Memphis and won outright in all of them. That's a wild trend that's tough to ignore. Let's keep it real, though. Memphis is the better team, no question. They're deeper, more efficient, and have the shooters to bury you. Over their last 3 games, the Grizzlies are shooting 48% overall and an insane 47% from 3. The Raptors, while respectable at 46% from the field and 37% from downtown, don't have the same firepower. But this Toronto squad doesn't back down. Even during the skid, they've been scrappy, keeping games close and losing by just a possession or 2 in most cases. So, where's my money going? I'm rolling with Toronto to cover the 13-point spread. Hear me out. Memphis has been dominant at home, but history is on Toronto's side in this matchup. They've consistently given the Grizzlies trouble, and that trend is hard to overlook. Sure, Memphis has the tools to blow them out, but the Raptors' grit and their head-to-head success make them a solid play to keep it close. If you've been following my picks, you know I value history in matchups like this. Give me Toronto to cover and maybe even make things interesting. Wait. Let's see if they can keep the streak alive in Memphis. The fifth prediction for today is for a game between the Detroit Pistons and Sacramento Kings. The Detroit Pistons are rolling into Sacramento with some swagger after snagging 2 impressive road wins, but man, this matchup has layers. Both squads are sitting on identical 13-17 records, yet they're heading in totally different directions. The Pistons are riding a wave of momentum, while the Kings seem stuck in reverse with a brutal 4-game losing streak. Let's break this one down. Detroit has really stepped it up this season. The decision to bring in JB Bickerstaff as head coach is looking like a genius move. He's tightened things up, defined roles, and leaned on a roster that's a good mix of hungry young talent and seasoned vets. Cade Cunningham has been an absolute force. He's putting up 23.9 points, 9.7 dimes, and 7 boards a night. The dude is everywhere. Jaden Ivey has turned into a legit second option, chipping in 17.4 points per game, and Malik Beasley seems reborn with his expanded role. Add in Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr., and you've got a team that can hurt you in a lot of ways offensively. They're not perfect, though defensively, they've been pretty leaky, giving up 115.3 points per 100 possessions. That's got to tighten up if they want to make real noise. On the flip side, the Kings are just not living up to expectations. Sacramento had high hopes after snagging DeMar DeRozan in the offseason, but the chemistry hasn't clicked, and it's been showing. De'Aaron Fox is doing his thing, averaging 26.2 points, 6.2 assists, and 5 rebounds, but it's not enough. Domantas Sabonis has been a beast on the boards, pulling down 13.5 a game while dropping 21.1 points. But even with those numbers, the Kings can't seem to string it together. Their defense has been mid, and they've let teams bully them, especially on their home court. That 4-game skid included tough matchups, sure, but losing 2 straight to the Lakers at home, that's a tough pill to swallow. This game has that classic setup where Detroit might hit a wall. They've been grinding on the road, picking up wins in Phoenix and LA, and now they're facing a Kings squad that's desperate for something positive. Sacramento is hearing it from their fans and the media, and you know they're itching to prove they're better than what they've shown. Fox and Sabonis are too good to keep losing like this, and I think this is where they snap out of it. I'll admit it, I'm rolling with the Kings here. It's a spot I like for them. Detroit's been on a tear, but asking them to pull off 3 straight road wins against teams like the Suns, Lakers, and now the Kings, that's a tall order. Plus, Sacramento has to be motivated to stop the bleeding. They've got the talent, and I think they finally put it all together tonight. I'm backing the Kings to win and cover the 5-point spread. It feels like the right time for Sacramento to remind everyone why they were hyped up coming into the season.